welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Today is supposed to be Saturday, which is the day that I would host your weekly energy card reading. What that is you as a viewer would pick one of 3 different choices of tarot deck, and once you choose your deck, we would go ahead and do a reading for the next 7 days. Now, unfortunately, fortunately, I've been participating in the 31 Days of Tarot, and where I've been filming a video every day, and I totally slacked, and for some reason I got the How to Tarot comes out on Tuesdays and this comes out on Saturdays, and somehow I got it flip-flopped and thought that I had done the reading or that I had to film this reading today. So I'm so sorry, this is a day late, but I am posting it on Sunday. It is still good for the week. It is actually good at it's actually kind of universal. It's good at any time that you find this reading or if you are drawn to this reading. So what I'll ask you to do is just go ahead and pick a deck or pick a stone, and we'll go ahead and just choose from your intuition, and we'll go ahead and do a reading about your next 7 days. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. The first deck is the Witch's Tarot by Dugan, and I have this pretty stone. I've never figured out what it is. I think it's some kind of citrine, I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and see what's the energies. Oh, and also to clarify, I had promised last week that I would be using the Salmon Advice cards. These cards are actually an Etsy item. All the descriptions for all the cards are in the description box below. But what it is it's a card, a personalized card, deck that was created by a band in Russia, actually, called Walking Fish. So I had shown it in a few of my 31 Days of Tarot Goodies videos, and so we're going to go ahead and use that to clarify for your weekly energies. So deck number 1, the Witch's Tarot. What are your energies for the week? Thank you. Energies for the middle of the week. Witch's Tarot. Thank you. We'll go with go with the card on the top. That's our energy for the end of the week. That's our energies for the end of the week. Seeing a lot of 7 of Wands. Thank you. Just to note that I saw this card kind of flip up a little bit. We'll read it, but it flipped up a little bit earlier also with the Ace of Wands, so that's how I'm going to read it when we get to it, okay? And remember, there's no bad cards in tarot. It's all about the surrounding cards. So all right. So guys, in the beginning of the week, it's gonna be interesting. You're gonna be doing a lot of evaluation. The way that it kind of came out was like this. But the Knight of Swords is honestly, you probably are gonna be dealing either with people, or this could be your own mindset where you are just raring to go verbally. You are ready to race into some situation with your sword and tell somebody what you think, right? the Knight of Swords is like one of the fastest moving. He probably is the fastest moving of all the knights, and it's because he's very verbally quick. Now, again, the fact that he's a knight and he's covered in armor, it can mean kind of a, depending on the surrounding cards, but it can mean kind of an angry discussion, either that or just a matter of fact one, like, okay, I'm doing this, deal with it, you know, A, B, C, D, this is what I think. So in the beginning of the week or the first couple of days, there's going to be a lot of verbal communication, and you're going to feel kind of guarded, but the thing is you're kind of jumping headfirst into it. It's also a very truthful card, so if there's any truth that needs to be spoken, you're kind of, you know, either someone's going to do it to you, or, you know, the other thing is that this is the kind of the clarifier of it, and what it is the Seven of Pentacles is that, you know, things are not moving fast enough kind of card. It's you kind of observing what you've done and how fast your projects are growing. So this I can read one of two ways. You could either be waiting for someone to come in with their guns blazing verbally, and, you know, and it's not really coming. Like, you know, you're expecting someone to come in and kind of, you know, maybe there's something at work that you've been expecting that's, you know, very, you know, you expect to get 10 million emails and they just haven't come in yet. Either that, or you have something to say about a project that is not moving very fast. Like, this could be you. It could be that, hey, you know, this project was supposed to bear fruit 20 years ago and it's not, and, you know, this is what I have to say about that. So those are the kind of two energies. That's what you're going to be looking at the beginning of the week. Now, in the middle of the week, you're just going to be working really hard. You're going to be honing a craft and kind of, I definitely get a feeling like this is either managing your money or something that has to do with work. But you see this person is trying to create the perfect pentacle. And what it is I do see that as a sign of craftsmanship, but sometimes I do kind of read that as a little bit, and the fact that it's going from 7 to 8, goes from 7 to 8 pentacles. Maybe this project that you have so many opinions about, the one that you're trying to get off the ground or get moving, you're still working, you're still doing your part to make it successful, but I'm still getting a feeling as if it's moving slow, or it's just, you know, you're kind of putting work into it and you are perfecting it. You're doing your side of it, which is good. But it just probably, what's kind of happening is it seems like you're polishing something that's already pretty complete. You know what I mean? Like, if you keep doing the same, if you keep working on the same project that's already in essence done, you might be kind of, I won't say wasting your energy, but you might be putting your energy into something that really doesn't need any more of that from you. There might be something else that you need to do. Now, and I don't want you to get discouraged. These are a few little discouraging cards, but you got the Ten of Swords, which is typically that guy with the 10 swords in his back, and you got the Five of Pentacles, which, you know, you can see it looks like springtime. It's Five of Pentacles usually means being left out in the cold or feeling financially adrift. So by the end of the week, you could. Now, the other thing with the Ten of Swords is sometimes it can make you feel a little bit stabbed in the back. But the way that I'm kind of reading this is that and again with the beginning cards in the beginning of the week, is that there might be something that's kind of over, right? You might be trying to put energy, you might be, again, putting your verbal energy, because the Knight of Swords is a lot of verbal energy, and you're like, okay, where do we stand? Where are we at with this? Why isn't this moving? And then you're putting more effort into it. But really, the universe is just kind of telling you, and again, this is in a gentle way. I know it seems very harsh, but it might be telling you that, you know, this is kind of my put a fork in it card. Maybe all this effort that you're putting into it is just, there's someplace else that you can put that effort, because this endeavor is not going to go anywhere else. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of hitting rock bottom. And with the Five of Pentacles, it may make you feel a sense of loss. You might either feel like you're not good enough, or maybe you might be made to feel like you were put out in the cold. Now, if this is a work situation, you might feel a little bit stabbed in the back and put out in the cold. Like maybe you were waiting to hear about some kind of, you moving forward on an endeavor. And again, you're raring to go, and you're kind of at a stop sign there. And then by the end of the week, they might tell you, oh, okay, we don't need you on this project anymore. And then you just kind of feel, you feel like it's not fair, and you feel like you're just left out in the cold. Now, the one thing I want to to encourage you is that this card kept coming out with the Ace of Wands. As I was shuffling, it kept wanting to come out with the Ace of Wands. So that's a beautiful message, because the Ace of Wands is about new beginnings. It's about spiritual and physical, and it's also it's a new beginning that you would be excited about. It's nothing dull or boring. It's what you need to do, right? And it wanted to come out with that ace. And so just be encouraged. I'm going to take it with that. And honestly, I love this ace because it actually has the butterfly in the picture, which means that's transformation. That is kind of like the Death card. And the Ten of Swords is a little bit of a more gentler echo of death. But also know that in this Ten of Swords, you got the owl. And the owl is the sense of wisdom. So there is knowledge to be gleaned from this situation. It might feel unfair, but just know, and again, by the end of the week, look for your ace. Look for your ace. If you were given like a hard no or a shutdown on some kind of, and it really looks like a work project. I'm not really, there's pentacles in all three places. So this could either be money related. You were waiting for some kind of, this could be you waiting for your tax return, right? But there might have been money or something that, something you were really working hard at, and it just kind of either gotten taken away or, met its apex. So there's no further that you can take with it. But if it does involve some type of ending, and if it hurts your feelings, just know that there is an ace right around the corner, and this is going to be transformative for you. Now, you kind of got three cards, and then the first card that came out for your Salmon Advice was It's High Above. And oh, look at that, 8 of Diamonds. That's the same as this, guys. So the 8 of Pentacles is the same as the 8 of Diamonds. And I think, and you see all this yellow, I think it is telling you, and again, I like the sun in this card too. It kind of looks like the sun that's in the ace. And the neck of the giraffes look like, the Ace of Wands too. But this is my card to see it from a higher perspective. Just kind of zoom out. Maybe try to see the bigger picture. And I know that's hard when you're disappointed or you feel like you weren't given your due. Now, the other thing that you got is behind this, and again, these are the cards backing up it. So see it from a higher perspective, but the foundation of that is, first off, you got the 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Diamonds, and it says, what? And it is almost kind of like, again, I think this is going to be some kind of announcement that you've been wanting, right? And then here next to what you got, Season of Migration, and that's like the 4 of Arrows, and that's almost kind of like the 4 of Wands. But I think what this is telling you is that that might either be your response when you get this news, like, what? Say what? Or you might be inquiring again. You're trying to figure out what's going on. So this might be you saying, okay, look, what's happening here? And then Season of Migration can mean that change that we're talking about. It can be a change in a direction that you weren't expecting. Either that, or because this decision was made, that you might have to make a change. That might feel a little uncomfortable. It might not feel like home to you. But what it's kind of telling you is that, put clouds under your home. Where I always love the saying, wherever you are is home, right? So just the other thing is, have faith in yourself. Have faith in yourself. Know that whatever happens, you can handle it, and there is a greater good in this. I really do feel like with the Ace of Wands, if whatever you were holding out for wasn't making you happy, or it wasn't, fulfilling you, then this might be the opportunity to get to a much better place that really honors the true you. But yeah, guys, so that is your week for the next 7 days. And again, please do not be alarmed. I think it's going to be a good week. If you want to give yourself maybe schedule a little extra self-care towards the end. Anytime I predict, and again, these cards cannot control the future. Your energy controls the future. But if you do feel like, you might be worried towards the end of the week, do something extra special, be kind to yourself. Now, the second deck is the Morgan Greer deck, and I actually have a piece of sea glass that I keep with it. Well, I use different stones, but today we get the sea glass. So, what is your week, deck 2? What is your week? What is the end of your week? Got a lot of majors, guys. I'm giggling because so far in the 2 decks, the third, the weekend, oh, okay, all right, the universe is calling me out. All right, I hear you. Okay, what it's telling me is that I was giggling because I was like, oh, okay, I keep having to shuffle and shuffle and shuffle for the end of the week. And and again, these cards do not predict your future. Your energy can change. We can pull your energies right now, and in 2 minutes, that energy can completely change and be, sunshine and daisies, right? But I was giggling because the third card was taking a little bit of effort to come out, and I was like, okay, and I was thinking in my head, oh, are you taking your time? Is the weekend unforeseen? Do we not know what's going to happen over the weekend? And that's when it was like I got a flipper, and it was like, boom, all right, you want to know? If you don't know, you better ask somebody. And the universe was like, boom. So, all right. So I'm going to stop shutting. Eureka. There you go. Thank you. I'm sorry. How I told you in one of my 31 Days of Tarot, the one that, the series that I completely slacked and forgot about this video for, I talked about how the cards get literal. And look at that. I was just like, boom, and it was like, eureka. Here, I'm going to shuffle again because I think that was a message for me, not you. All right, so I'm going to clearing the mental palette. Sorry, guys. All right, so what is the advice? Thank you. Oh, flipper. We had another flipper. A lot of fire in this, guys. A lot of fire in this one. Okay, now beginning of the week, you got some good Lord energies. Like, boom, 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 boom. So you got the Lovers, and then you got the High Priestess, and you got the Wheel of Fortune. So now there's a little bit of naked bits, but this card is not too terrible. Well, yeah, I'll cover up her bottom half there. But this video is not deemed for children, so it would be over 18 anyway. But you got the Lovers, and what it is, again, this is definitely pertaining to a choice. It's pertaining to a choice, but it can also just pertain to your divine counterpart. It can be that if you're in a couple or in a relationship. And what's happening is, the reason that I deem it as kind of a choice is because just underneath it, you have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is that energy of kind of leaning back. It's the non-action. She is knowing, in the sense that she understands the real world, and she understands the unseen world. And she asks you to pull back She asks you to pull back and kind of see this from a higher perspective, and also trust your instincts. So if there's been something going on with a relationship where it might have involved, someone that you were talking with, just kind of go with your gut instinct. It's okay to not take any action, just kind of lean back. And the third thing that you got is you got Wheel of Fortune. And first off, Wheel of Fortune is definitely the card of divine intervention. It means the universe is controlling things from behind the scenes. Now, again, you don't have to feel disempowered by that. It's actually very good. Anytime you see the Wheel of Fortune in the upright, it means the wheel is turning in your favor. But it means the gears are turning. It means that there's some kind of change happening. And right now, all you have to do is lean back. And you can be a male watching this video and get the High Priestess. But I've done a blog post of how to tarot for High Priestess if you want to get a chance, and the Lovers and the Wheel. Feel free to check out any of those videos. They are archived under my How to Tarot header. But basically, in the beginning of the week is going to be quite a powerhouse, and it's going to be some kind of choice or some kind of decision between someone that you feel very passionate about. But what it's telling you is it's kind of just telling you to pull within and it's kind of telling you to lean back and just kind of feel things out, to go with your gut. I'm really getting a sense of non-action for this. Don't do anything impulsive. And then just know that the wheels are turning. There is something occurring here, and it's in your favor, but the wheels are turning, and it is almost a sign it's almost telling you to listen to your instincts regarding this decision. And unfortunately, the universe, you have free will. There's nothing the universe can do that you can't consent to. But what it's telling you is that it's turning the wheel in a positive direction for you. If you decided to go against that, that would be your free will choice. But just know that whatever's happening, this gut instinct that you have, your gut is telling you to go towards the thing that would be for your greatest good. So if you follow that, then there's a lot of things. And again, I know this is just a weekly reading, but those are very powerful for the beginning of your week. You're just going to feel a lot of gut instinct kind of things. Now, in the middle of the week, this is a little interesting. You got yet another major. You got the Magician, and we have a post on that as well for How to Tarot. But in the middle of the week, you're going to be experiencing a little bit of conflict. Now, you might be trying to manifest your dreams right now. And, and that can be with the relationship, or it can be with something else. I'm getting the feeling like this might be something else, because with the High Priestess, it's almost as if you have, with the Lovers in the beginning of the week, you have a decision to make, but you're almost kind of, with the wheel being there, it's almost like that decision's on track, and you know what you're going to do. You're going to follow your gut. It's just you kind of have to put it on the back burner for right now. But by the middle of the week, you're going to be experiencing some kind of competition. You always see that with the Five of Wands, there's 5 different hands, but all of the wands are equal. So that means equal competition. And the thing is, this can be at work, this can be with family, this can be in the romantic relationship, but I have a feeling that I think this area, the beginning of the week, pertains to your romantic relationship. And again, I think you know what you want to do there, and you're kind of portioning that off because you have other things on your plate. And I think the other things on your plate are going to kind of rear up. And what it is by the middle of the week, you're going to be manifesting what you want. And again, the fact that these are all majors, your love life seems all major. And then in the middle of the week, you got another major, but it's almost like you're going through, in order to get this wheel to turn, to help this wheel to turn, you got to go in and do some cleanup. And that cleanup's going to you're going to end up kind of battling with people. And again, all these rods are equal. So it feels like, it's competition. You could be
this could be competition for this love interest, but I'm really getting more of a vibe of you going in, and in order to have this life that you're planning, or that the universe is lining up for you, you got to make some changes. You see how he has all the elements on that table, and you got to go in and make some changes, but those changes aren't going to it's not going to make a few people happy. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to jump into the fray, and it's almost like, because the number 5 is also change. But the other thing is, the magician is the number 1. It's the I card, and so you're going to do what I want to do, right? So by the middle of the week, it's going to kind of flare up, and you're going to have a little conflict. But I'm not going to say, don't be afraid of it. I don't think you are, because when we get to the King of Rods, he's got his own staff right there, right? If he has to jump in and knock a few heads, he will. But basically, yeah, I think by the middle of the week, it's just going to be kind of equal conflict. It's just kind of, it can also mean that kind of petty conflict, that that people are just you're going to get pushed back is what it is. You're going to have to make changes. You're going to get pushed back. You don't want to deal with anybody talking trash or I don't even think anybody is going to be verbally abusive or anything, but I do think that you just don't want to deal with it. You're going to stir things up, and you're going to have drama. People are going to push back and try to say stuff, and you're just going to be like, oh God, I knew they were going to do this. I really don't want to deal with it, but I have to, because in order to get my manifestation going, I need to get past this. And then by the end of the week, you got the King of Rods. And again, you can be a woman watching this reading. It can pertain to you as well. But what it is that it's telling you that the King of Rods he's going to handle his business. He's the majestic king. He's the king of action. He's a mature character, and he knows what he wants. Now, in a romantic sense, just because we had the lovers, he is definitely the lover guy. I mean, he's the lover guy, but the thing is, he's not a page and he's not a knight. He's a mature king. So the thing is, if he wants something, he'll go for it. He's not gonna, and the thing is, he's gonna stand up for that, and he's not gonna take anybody giving him any crap about it. So by the end of the week, after you kind of know where you're headed, or at least if you're not 100% sure, this is telling you, go with your gut. Lean back and listen to what your instinct is telling you. You do not have to take action right now, but the wheel is turning. That if you do not take action eventually, or probably within the next few weeks, the wheel is going to turn and do it for you. But the wheel is trying to send you in the direction of something very positive. And then by the middle of the week, you're going to be trying to manifest this. You're going to be trying to get all your ducks in a row. And Monday is National Rubber Duck Day, by the way. But we're going to get all your ducks in a row, but it might incur some conflict, some petty conflict, but you're ready to deal with that. And by the end of the week, I almost feel like you're going to be the king of the conflict. I almost feel like you're going to be king of the hill by the end of the week is what I'm getting, right? You're going to go through that, and by the end, you're going to kind of sit on your throne and be like, okay, anybody else? Anybody else want to come at me with this stuff? Okay, yeah. Do we, kick butt, take names? But you also are going to know what you want, and you're going to kind of be in a better place. So maybe by the following week, some of this major will start to show or manifest. We are coming up on February, as crazy as that sounds. Now here you got the 10 of Pentacles. Ooh, 10 of Diamonds. And that's that lovely, that's that beautiful joy card. It's like, that is like being the king of home and family. Let me show it to you real quick. I'm sorry. I'm always doing comparisons. It's just, this deck is just a fun deck. It's not meant to parallel. It can parallel the tarot, but it doesn't have all the cards. But you see how the 10 of Pentacles is that home and family. And again, you see how it almost looks like the same guy. It's almost like by the end of the week, he's looking to create this. It can also be dealing with family. That's possible. Some of this conflict might have to do with family matters. And what it is you're trying to be, it isn't that you don't love your family, it's just you're trying to be independent. You're trying to make your own life choices. And it's leading you to being the King of Wands. But the last thing is your advice from our Salmon Advice cards is get the 10 of Pentacles, and it says share the bonfire. And look at this, guys. Oh, I think this is really neat because I've talked before about how the fox is usually very self-serving. He's a little bit of a selfish character, but the reason that the fox gets that cunning reputation is because usually most people who kind of take on a fox persona, they've probably experienced a lot of lack in their life, and it makes them kind of survivalist. They need to have their needs met first because they put number one first, because they've learned early on that if they don't do that, they'll be taken advantage of. And here I love this message because it says share the bonfire. It says you can be a fox. Yeah, sure. If you have that perception of life, no one's telling you to not, it's almost kind of like a street smart thing. By all means, be street smart, but maybe you can find other foxes that you can share that with, right? Or if this does have to do with family, because it is the 10 of Pentacles, and again, we have all these rods, maybe you have a lot of fiery personalities or just, very strong egos. There's a family dynamic where on the regular, you have to deal with people who are of a strong personality. It is just letting just share the bonfire, right? Whomever, if it's a relationship, include them as to the best of your ability, even if you have to keep them separate, keep them in the loop. If it's your family, try not to be an island, but don't put up with anybody telling you what to do either. So, all right, guys, so that was your week. That's a pretty powerful one. That's pretty amazing. I really like that share the bonfire. These are really great cards. I was so excited to get them. It took a little while. I had to go through customs, which is all good. It's understandable. So, all right, guys, so the last deck, we've got the Vice Versa Tarot. And on the top of the deck, you got a Dalmatian Jasper. This is one of my favorite stones. I haven't pulled it out in a while. But let's go ahead and get your reading. So, deck number 3, what is your week like? Deck number 3, what's your week like? Oh. A little clarifier for the Queen, and please clarify the Queen of Wands in reverse. And then end of the week. Oh, thank you. We got a lot of clarifying, and I really wanted that because I wanted to be sure. And we got death at the B. Well, you guys got a pretty powerful week. Two of Cups on the top of the deck. Again, the Vice Versa Tarot does not have a formal deck back because when it flips, it's intended to be read as the reversal. And what is our advice? Advice for deck number 3. Oh, now you see this, it's sticking out, so that's your advice. Go deep. We saw that in the beginning when I first picked up this deck, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into it. Now, I'm going to be honest, you have a lot of reversals in this deck. You have a lot of reversals in this week, which means that there's a lot of blocked energy or a lot of energy that's not expressing itself. The first actual upright card you got in the beginning was at the beginning of the week, and that's the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is that very cerebral, I can't speak today, sorry guys, cerebral king. And what it means is he's the mature masculine when it comes to thought. He's been through a lot, he understands, he does not wear his heart on his sleeve. He makes decisions very, very carefully. And what it is it's because, you can see he's got the armor. He's very verbally astute. He knows what he wants to do. He thinks about what he wants to do. And when he does it in a very succinct way. He will come through and he knows what he means and he says what he means. So that's upright. So that means that this week the beginning of the week, you're going to start out in a very just the facts kind of attitude. You're going to be looking at things very analytically, and you're in a strategic way. There's a lot of people in this spread, and there's a lot of people that are reversed, which means that you're going to be dealing with, and it's funny, with all three decks, the middle of the week ended up with some kind of conflict, and I'm really getting, and the fact that, and the reversals, we'll get to it in a minute, but there's birds, so it really means like communication, and the fact that you're the king, I think you're going to need to be delivering some tough messages this week. So just bear that in mind. Now, the other thing is that after I'd done all the spreads, this flipped out, and it is the death card, but what it's telling me is that there's some kind of, everybody is in the midst of a transformation right now. You know, we are at the beginning of a new year, of a new decade. The other thing is we are coming towards the end of a Saturn transit, a very long one. Saturn is going to be moving out of Capricorn at the beginning of April, but it's going to be hitting a lot of points right around Valentine's Day. And the other thing is that, you know, now that it's the beginning of the year, you have a lot of tax returns. If you're single, if you're married, if you have joint property with anyone, the tax return time of year talks a lot about money and needing to communicate with people, and it becomes just a sensitive subject for everyone. So just to know, this week would be the week when W-2s are coming in the mail, so this could pertain to that. Now, I'm not seeing too many pentacles in this read. Actually, the pentacles came in the first read, which might have been more of their message. But so I'll stop lamenting, but you're going to be in a very analytical mood. Your stance for the beginning of the week is, okay, I'm gonna state my truth, and this is a transformative time. So now by the middle of the week, you are going to have some conflict with what it is you've got the Queen of Wands in reverse, and you got the Four of Wands. So what we're seeing here is we've got, and this is the Queen when she's upright, and then this is the Queen when she's in the reverse. Now the Four of Wands can usually mean some kind of wedding or some kind of milestone, but it can also mean the four pillars of a house. So again, going back to the thing, you're going to have someone who's really kind of digging in and regarding either a house, or she's going to be digging in regarding some kind of milestone, some kind of commitment that needs to be made, and she's not going to be too happy about it. Now, what's happening is when the Queen of Wands is in reverse, when she's positive, when she's in upright, she's very warm, she's very energetic, she's the fun queen. She's the mom that you can have fun with. She always is outgoing and loves to talk to you and do things. When she's in the reverse, we'll be straight up honest, she can be drama-rama. And it's not a bad thing, it's again, anytime something's reversed, it's the repression, it's the pushing down or the blocking of the good, right? So what's happening is you're going to be dealing with someone she's probably going to be pretty prideful. If this is some kind of standoff, like you might have news that you need to tell regarding a house or regarding, this could be a commitment. I mean, the Four of Wands can also be what feels like a marriage or a deep commitment. I don't see it in the reverse, but I see her being very stubborn about it. So this could be someone that's waiting for a commitment, or it can be someone who's really digging in regarding something that you have to communicate about a house. Now, and that's the middle of the week. So in the middle of the week, you're going to be dealing with someone who is definitely going to be, it's probably going to be a woman. If you are a woman, it might be you. So it might be telling you that you might be kind of holding your own regarding this, but just know that you are going to have a little bit of pride in this. Like you might be exuding a little bit of, condescension. So just be mindful of that. You're not feeling like, I always say, I have plenty of moments where I feel just low energy. And when I feel low energy, I don't always respond nicely, and it isn't that I'm trying to be mean. It's just I'm tired, and when I'm tired and you're approaching me over something that should have been, if I'm getting, just like when you get news that you're not happy to hear, you sometimes come back with the knee jerk, and you might act a little snotty, and it isn't that you're intending to. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. Sorry guys, the allergies have been kicking my butt this week, and it's an unseasonably warm day. It's a beautiful day. I'm gonna go out and get a walk, but the warm to hot to warm, gets to me. Now, by the end of the week, unfortunately, you got more people and you got more drama coming, but you see that there is a bird in the sky here, and what it is that this is the Empress. And the Empress usually means a mother. It can mean the mother of your child, or it can mean a person that you deal with that is a mother. It can be your mother as well. And then just below, and again, this one is a little bit more, the card below is the King of Wands. The King of Wands came out in the 3rd position in the last deck too, but here he is reversed. And it's interesting, you kind of see a snake there, and I'll get to that in a minute. That really plays into transformations. A snake shedding its skin can be transformation. But the fact that we have a reversed Queen of Wands here, and we have a reversed King of Wands here, again, these are a couple. It can be siblings. If this is a family dynamic, it could be siblings. So it can be, someone, you start off your week trying to keep it just the facts, and by the end of the week, it's not, I'll be honest, it's not going to stay just the but it's wonderful that you're starting off the week with that the objective point of view, but definitely by the end of the week, it's going to flip to being subjective very quickly. It's going to be from everybody's point of view. But it seems like you have people who have a stake in what's going on. On the back of the Empress, you have the tree, which is, family and roots. But basically, you have an Empress, or you have a woman who is either not exuding. She might be kind of, when the Empress is in the reverse, she can be a little bit of a smothering presence. She can be someone who's using her maternal clout to kind of dictate how things are going to go. So it is a little bit of a smothering kind of essence. And the fact that you got the King of Wands in the reverse, I think that you're having, if this is your energy, you can kind of read it one of a few ways. Basically, you have a lot of facts coming out, and you have a lot of negative responses between these 3 people. So, the Queen of Wands can be kind of prideful. She can almost, be like, you're not treating me right, and then, nose in the air. But it has to do with either a house or some kind of commitment, milestone. And then by the end of the week, there's definitely going to be not so much a falling out, but it almost feels like more of a standoff. I'm kind of getting the standoff vibe, because you're seeing the backs of all these people, right? It's almost like they have their back to you, like, oh, okay, if you're not willing to communicate, like the King of Swords, then I'm not even going to bother, right? I'm not going to bother talking to you. But the fact that there's like a bird in the sky that's coming, and she has a bird on her throne, so I have a feeling that, like, this also can mean the fact that it's reversed is that it can mean, and then it's interesting, there's a skull there too, which definitely pertains to the transformation of death. Not in a bad way, please don't take that term. It just means transformation. It doesn't mean anybody's sick or anything like that. What I see when I see birds, I also think of chatter. Maybe you've upset someone who is a mother, or you've gotten into like kind of a standoff with the mother of your child or your mother, and the fact that these 2 are a pair, it's almost like you either want to be, the king and queen of wands want to be together, and it's being blocked by a family member who's talking a lot, who's the chatter, the birds. It's like, that's a little bit of gossip. That's kind of like, talking about your business. Either that, or the fact that it's this, the shedding of the skin here, there might be a little bit of kind of standoff regarding either a house or a family dynamic, and everybody has an opinion about how it should go, and then everybody is just kind of, there is a little bit, with the snake, there is a little bit of clandestine response, meaning that, you don't like what you're being told, so you might evade or, talk behind the other person's back. So just know that at the end of the week, it's completely normal to have debates and have little falling outs with family. Definitely emote about it. There's nothing wrong with emoting. You got to talk it out, right? Usually it's good to go to a friend and say, well, so-and-so said this to me and they were just so wrong, and to kind of hash it out, but try not to get backbiting with it is my advice. And if it does involve the Queen of Wands, she might be in a little bit of a prideful state, but just try to understand that and do whatever you can to get flipped back into your positive energy. Now the clarifier that I got, because I really wanted to know, who is this Empress, who is this King of Wands? And the crazy thing is that and these are all flipped as well. We got the Ace of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Three of Cups, and we got it in reverse, y'all. So the Ace of Wands, again, you got that phoenix in the sky, and it looks like he's flying towards you. The phoenix is transformation. That is the third symbol of transformation we've gotten, and it looks like the rod. Again, the rod is blocked. It's almost like, and something about that sun, I have a feeling that this energy started around the eclipse on Friday, on the 10th, which would have been a Cancer Capricorn eclipse. But basically it means that somebody wants to take. I have a feeling it's the King of Wands, because he's the action taker. When you look at it, that's the wand in his hand, right? And the Ace of Rod has foliage, so he wants something to grow, but it's not growing, it's blocked. And there's some kind of transformation that's involved with this. Now, in between, he got the Seven of Cups, and I love the reverse depiction of this, because the reverse is, here, when it's upright, he's seeing 7 glowing cups, and he's like, ooh, choices. Then in the back, you see that he waited. It's like he's in a dream. He waited down, he got out of bed, sleepwalking, walked into the middle of a lake, and is staring at this. And look, his eyes, he has no pupils. That's a little bit of a freaky card. It's a spooky card. But what it means is that he doesn't know what to do. You have options and you want to take action, but he doesn't know what to do. It's like he has probably obligations, because there's so many people in this spread. Honestly, when I think about it, the King of Swords could be another person that you're obligated to, that person is your voice of reason. It might be the person that you go to for advice, because it definitely feels masculine. I'm feeling a masculine energy. But then the third thing is the Three of Cups in reverse. And the Three of Cups in reverse means that I'm getting a strong sense that you want to simplify things. Things have become way too complicated. You have too many options. You got too many things in the pot, and you need to pare it down. You need to get rid of. And again, this is the reverse. You need to get, instead of having so many people in the mix, you want to reverse it. Two's, what's the three's a crowd? Two is company, but three's a crowd. And it's almost like you want to get things to a better place, but things are just very murky. And your desire to start afresh is blocked. And I do get a feeling like, and it has to do with a mom or the mother of your children. Either that, or it could be that this Empress is someone that he sees as his Empress and that he wants, but he can't have right now because of some kind of choice or decision. Now, I know that was a heavy read, guys. Good Lord, I've been wanting to reconnect with this deck, and boy, woo, I'm feeling it. I'm getting the messages today. But and your advice card, your Salmon Advice card, is you got go deep, go deep. And it was funny, if you watch, I have a 31 Days of Tarot, and it's the excuse me, I'm going to cough. Excuse me. The 31 Days of Tarot is the, I was talking about what other divination tools do you use outside, and I was talking about dice and charms, and one of my new charms was a fish in a bag, and I was talking about, and this looks like that, and I was just talking about how when you get that fish from the carnival, I always see it as it's something exciting and novelty that you get. Oh, I have a fish, but then later when you have to take care of it, when you have to clean the bowl, and you're like, it turns out to be a bigger commitment than you anticipated. But you're in a submarine and you got a bunch of people in there with you, right? I love the guy who's hanging from the ceiling. I think he's the cutest. But basically, I think it's telling you that you have a lot on your plate. You have a lot on your plate, and you do not want to make the wrong choice, right? That's part of this indecision, is that if you're going to move forward with something, you want to make the right choice, and you don't want to hurt anybody. You don't want to affect anyone. So I think the advice it's telling you is just dig deep. Maybe even if you want to write down, I always find it so therapeutic to write down your dreams, your goals. Okay, if you didn't have any of this going on, where would you be? And then think, okay, kind of do a little chart of, well, what steps do I need to take to get there, and do those steps affect or harm anyone? And because you need to mind your karma. But I just think that's your week, guys. And it's nothing to be afraid of. Just know that you just remember, again, also go deep. I think the other thing about the go deep card is that when you do have people who are doing that kind of turn your back because they're manifesting the negative, again, these are good characters, these are good characters, but just know that when somebody is, got their back to you, it isn't because they're trying to be mean. It's usually because they're protecting themselves. Either that, or they're legitimately disappointed or hurt or upset or offended. So I do think that, and that's one thing that the King of Swords is excellent for. Whether that's a different person, if it's a different person, have them advise you as to what to do or say. If it's you, just try to really encompass that. But basically, try to get on their good side. Fight the battles that you need to fight, but don't stir up anything that you don't need to. So if you feel like, again, try to concede where you can. I'm not saying, roll over if someone's being rude to you, but if someone is feeling standoffish, just try to appeal to their good side. Try to flip them. Right? If you're seeing this, be like, okay, I really love your earrings today. You look really beautiful. And then you'd be amazed at how she'll flip right over and be like, well, thank you. I like it. They're red. They bring out my eyes, right? So try to keep them in the good mood. There's some heavy stuff going on, but try to be kind. But all right. That was your reading, and again, it's a little bit late, but better late than not at all. And I'll put your King of Swords on top. So, but that was a good read, guys, honestly. And I hope you have a good week. And again, this can resonate at any time. But if you'd like to join me, I am doing the 31 Days of Tarot every day. Monday is I'm going to be asking the question. Where would you like to see your tarot practice? Like, where do you want to be with your tarot practice in the year 2030? And it is also National Rubber Duck Day. So, so that's Monday. Tuesday, the question is, do you have any tarot-themed tattoos or home decor? And I do. I won't tell you which it is. You got to tune in to find out, okay? But that's on Tuesday. And in addition, on Tuesday, we are doing the How to Tarot series. We have another heavy hitter. We are talking about the devil. So don't be afraid. It's a transformative card. There are no bad cards in tarot. But I hope you can join me for all of that. If not, I will see you in the next video, and I'll see you then. Bye.